is an accomplished sales professional with a strong technical background and a knack for finance. At EDX Wireless, he excels in building genuine relationships and becoming a trusted advisor to customers. Known for his thoughtful, charismatic, and data-driven approach, he manages complex deals across the international markets. And he will be speaking on the role of RF planning and design in Smart Meters Rollout. Let's welcome Mr. Ishan Marwah with a huge round of applause.
Okay, so check. Yeah, it's good now. I hope everyone is enjoying the weather. Finally, the rains have arrived here. Yeah, it was a mess here with the hot summer. But anyhow, so coming to the point, I understand like after my session there is a lunch that's going to kickstart. So I would like to leave you with a food for thought, which you can like enjoy during your lunch break, and we can have a collective discussion also if required. Now the thing here is, for the smart meters, we use, typically there are three connectivity technologies that are being used: cellular, NB-IoT, and the RF mesh that is being predominantly used across the globe, nothing specific to India, but across the globe. Out of this, cellular or the NB-IoTs, they are coming from the public telcos, wherein the network is designed keeping in mind for the public things like smartphones, a grand network across the country which you can use, okay, especially for the smartphones and have limited similar things. But here, and that is the connectivity layer totally managed by the telcos. You just use the connectivity layer to connect your devices. That's it. Thank you. Bye-bye. Now, when you want to roll out the next generation of applications over top of your smart meters, you really want to make it a best of the best for your consumers, you need to have your captive networks as well, wherein like the RF mesh is used. Or you might someday in the future, as the government allows in India, you can roll out the private LTE or the 5G networks, which are specifically designed, planned, and rolled out, keeping in mind the smart meters and their consumers, not for something else. Now, what's the difference that I'm tell you? I don't want to go into the LTE or the which connectivity layer, but the thing is how the network is designed, keeping in mind the end user you have. So that's where we are. So right now, you are designing your RF mesh networks. That is the way you are rolling out your networks for your smart meters. As I mentioned, the LTE and the NB-IoTs, you are just consuming the connectivity layer. Now, how many of you here, I want an honest opinion from you, are designing the RF mesh network? Really, what I have seen in the entire market in Indian ecosystem, we are typically using the GIS tools to plan that network, to design it. Where should be my RF mesh gateway? Where should be my RF mesh router or repeater? We are using the GIS tools like Google Earth, MapInfo, QGIS. And some people are really good. They have built something in-house because they realized these GIS tools are not giving me the value what I want, what I deserve. Okay? Now, if you are using this GIS layers, now as we've been talking, like absolute beautiful inputs that a lot of people have given on this stage, that to really give the value to our consumers, we need to have that smart applications, instant alerts, and what all things. And everything kickstarts from how robust is your connectivity layer. And behind that, the key thing is how robust and meticulously you have planned your network. Then only you can have a robust connectivity. Then only you can provide the end goals to your consumers. So that is the key. So that's what I want to emphasize here. While you are designing and planning your network, you have to keep that in mind, that you are not doing it just for now. You are doing it for future. You are doing it because you want to make sure that your network is robust enough to cater to the requirements that you want to have today, tomorrow, and in the future. You don't want to go in a muddle where you are constantly in the field optimizing your network because something new is coming up, something extra you are doing the capacity things, what all things it can be, which I am pretty much sure you all esteemed audience are fully aware, especially the OEMs and the utility providers who are doing it day in, day out. So it starts from day zero, how meticulously you plan your network. If you have done that thing, your majority of the challenges which you face while you are rolling out the network and when you are running the network will be bare minimum. So that's where it is. You are using the GIS tools to plan your network. What it is missing, you don't know what should be the optimum location of your gateways, the RF mesh gateways, where they should be. We don't know that. We are not considering while we are designing the network what should be the path loss, coverage, interference, because they all are wireless technologies and they all are driven and governed by the nature of law. You can't do that in a GIS tool or in an Excel sheet or PowerPoint or something, whatever. We are not using the map data. While I am planning it, maybe in a map info or ArcGIS, I don't know what kind of clutter I am having. India is such a beautiful and diverse country that all kind of terrains you get here. Whether mountains, valleys, rural areas, green fields, open area, dense urban areas. So you can't apply the same dynamics that you have defined to plan a network in a suburb of Delhi to something what you are going to do in Assam. That's not possible and feasible. You should not do it. So you should know what kind of baseline you are working on. And then, since we are using RF mesh, such a wonderful technology, we should be aware about what are the vulnerabilities of the RF mesh when you are designing your network. Yeah. So now, it translates into tremendous challenges for you. Either you undersize the network or you oversize the network. In either the case, there is always a problem. There will always be a problem. If you are oversizing it, you are eventually putting a lot of capex into it, which is not the need of an hour. If you are undersizing it, you are going into a trouble in a coming future. Then again, you will have a problem. You will always be in a continuous and vicious cycle of optimizing your network to make sure what the network requirements are. Either you are changing the locations of the gateway or you are optimizing them, you are changing the features, what all. You will always be there on the field. Inefficient and manually things creep into your errors. And then eventually, the most important thing is it will turn into the outages and the impacting your SLAs. That is the key thing. And that's what we want to minimize. So now, what's the solution here? That's where we come and jump with our platform called Signal Pro. Whatever we are doing it now, I can be very honest with my humble submission that coming from the telecom background, I used to do that when I was there, when I started my career 15 years back, doing the telecom network planning using these GIS tools. And boy, we were happy at that time, but suddenly we started realizing we are going to go crazy as the network or the traffic expansion happens. And this is what is going to happen in our case here in smart meters. Right now we are at what, 10 million smart meters, what I understood. And we are going to do 250 million smart meters in next 5 years. So be aware. You have to do it now, not tomorrow for your networks. So that's where the Signal Pro is. Signal Pro is a desktop-based application, grounds up being built for designing, planning the network for your smart meters. Whether you are using the RF mesh or if in future you will start using the other wireless technologies in a captive way. For the public networks, like that network is already designed and defined by the telcos. So it allows you to do an planning of your mesh network for smart meters in the most simplest way, which you won't believe, with taking into account all the parameters that are required to meticulously plan it. You can see here the coverage heat maps, the interferences, the router locations, everything in a very polished way. Now, our mesh module, I don't want to go into the nitties and gritties of it, but it comes up with a simulation algorithm wherein it automatically plans the optimum location of your gateway. How? Because it runs the simulation in the back end, that out of this entire 1 square kilometer of area or 1000 square kilometer of area, where I should put my gateway so that I can cater to 1 lakh meters or 2 lakh meters or whatever it is. It automatically plans that for you. It comes up with an absolute beautiful thing of automatic redundancy planning. RF mesh, you do need to plan a redundancies. If one hop goes down, what is the next thing for you? Automation and APIs, integration. This is a need of an hour. Why? Because like if you are going to do and apply the smart applications on your thing, our platform can integrate with your NOC and your SCADA systems, wherein we can always get a live feed of how your meters are behaving in the network. And then the capacity plannings and what all things can be done. Now, as I was just mentioning, the automatic site selections, or when the gateways and the routers and everything can be planned for you. Now, this is absolutely beautiful thing, wherein we are within the platform itself, you can automatically plan the mesh topology and do the redundancy of your network. Whether in 2 hops you want to cover the entire network, in 3 hops, 5 hops, howsoever you want to do it, so that your network becomes more robust. There is no chance of failure. That's what it is. Now, in your running network, you want to do and roll out new applications. You have any new application that comes into the network is a capacity. Whatever data you are consuming now, it will bump up the data. Now, you are not going to roll out a new network for it. You want to utilize your existing network and do the capacity upgrades so that that actual traffic can be catered to. And that's where the platform can be useful for you, to automatically plan where should the capacities be added and where should not be, where is not required. So here it automatically highlights where the green one says everything is good. Yellow one says that's where the capacity expansions need to happen for you in the network. Now, that's where I wanted to come about us, who we are. I represent a company called EDX Wireless. We are headquartered in US. Me and my friend, he's here, right here in front of you, Hani Charnalia. Don't say that we are having the same hairstyle, so we work in the same company. but that's a jokes apart, but that's how we are now after 15 years. So, yeah, and we are the only company in this entire globe which provides such a platform for the smart meters to plan, design, and optimize your mesh networks. So, and we are very humble and proud about it. And we think with the markets in India are too good. And we think at this is the right time for people to start utilizing the strength and power of such a platform and plan a robust connectivity layer and the networks for it. And the key thing I would like to highlight here is we are not new in the market. We are there in the market for last 30 years. In fact, in the US market, 95% of the mesh networks, so the AMI networks are planned using our platform. That's where you see the logo, the customers who we are working with. In India, we have also started to work Lendis. They are our biggest customer in India. Genus Power, they are using our platform to design the networks in India. And Hitachi Energy, they have also started to use. few months back. And then rest all you can see like Honeywell, Itron, and what all you can see here. And what we provide, Signal Pro, as I mentioned, a desktop application for you to design. It can be a cloud application depending on what your needs are. We are comfortable with both. We provide the digital maps for pan-India. Wherever you are, in which part of India you want to plan, design, or bid for your network, we can help you, or like platform can help you for doing that. One case study which I would like to highlight here, I won't dwell much into it, but this is from Encore, US. They are the biggest standalone AMI network, if I just highlight, for 3.2 million homes across 1,000 square miles of the territory for which they planned the AMI network or the RF mesh. And like we all know, I don't want to go again into this and keep up you, like they have this AMI mesh networks with the gateways, routers, and what all not, and the idea was to plan a robust network so that like they can do all this goodies that they want to offer to their subscribers and to their customers. Now the key thing which I want your focus on, just another few seconds and before I roll it over. So using our platform, they planned their AMI mesh network. Now what value they derived out of it? The golden cluster, it's wrongly mentioned the meters, like it is 52,000 meters. And when they planned their network manually or whatever the process they were using at that time, compared to that when they started using the platform for that same golden cluster of 52,000 meters, they were able to minimize their gateway count by 33%. So if there were 100 gateways that were required, now they are only using 66 gateways. That's a massive saving on a network side. Repeater count by almost 50%. So it translated into a saving of $400,000 only on that golden cluster from the network side only. Overall, over this entire network, $4 million US. Now just don't go with the numbers because it will vary from country to country and market to market, but this is an actual case from Encore, our trusted partner who is using this platform for last like 5 years now. And just with this single case study or with this single area where they have planned the network, they are able to save $4 million US. So that's the power and strength of this platform that I am showcasing you today. And thank you. Enjoy the beautiful lunch. And yeah, this is okay. Thank you. Namaste.